What is up, guys? Welcome back to another amazing episode of Psycho Gamer. I am always your host, Aubrey, and today we're going to be talking about a game that we want to see Arcade1up release. Tron. Yes, Tron from 1982. A lot of people are really looking forward to somebody releasing this, and hopefully it'll be Arcade1up. So stay tuned. Give me a like, subscribe, share, turn on post notifications so you can see when I'm making videos. We're going to go over that in just a moment. Hold on tight. Welcome back again, guys. As I mentioned before, we are going to go ahead and talk about Tron today. Arcade1up, we love you. We love what you're doing. I've already gone over multiple different games and a couple of different videos that I've talked about. But today we're going to go ahead and talk about this classic. I mean, Tron is the ultimate classic gaming movie because it was so unique in how it was created. Now, yes, the movie did come out in 1982. Nothing wrong with that. Tron was based off of that particular movie. It was released by Bally Midway, which Midway was responsible for many, many games at that time, such as Miss Pac-Man for one, which if you haven't seen my video on Miss Pac-Man, take a look at the link right up above and go check it out, because that one's actually coming out pretty soon. But what games could be released on the unique arcade cabinet of Tron? Well, Tron, obviously, and Discs of Tron. Now, Discs of Tron wasn't quite as well known to a lot of people other than most of the arcade aficionados. If you actually watch the newest movie, Tron Legacy, they actually did kind of play the Discs of Tron game in it. The newest Tron movie was okay, but I think the original game and the original movie really hit home to a lot of people. So Tron had a rotary dial, so it had it where you get that dial on the left side, and then you had the arcade stick on the right side. It was an 8-way directional arcade stick, much like many of the actual arcade games were created at that time. Tron, the original game, was based up about 4 different kind of levels. You had the I/O tower, you had the MCP cone, you had the light cycles, obviously that was an amazing level, and then you had the battle tanks. So 2 of my favorite levels in the original Tron game were the light cycles and also the battle tanks. When it came to fighting the little spiders and everything, I wasn't really a big fan of that. That was okay. I mean, it was another way to use the actual dial to move around and actually shoot these little spiders. The MCP cone, it was cool, but wasn't my favorite level. I think, in general, I think almost everybody who played this game, the light cycles really resonated a lot more with them than it did anything else, because you had to kind of keep on your toes. You know, you had your yellow cycle, you had your blue cycle, and you're basically just trying to run each other off the road and smash each other into your actual light, I guess you could say. In terms of the 2 games, obviously Tron being the main one, Discs of Tron used the same controller. However, it was almost like a 3D kind of game where you had your players at the very, very far away, and then you had players up close. You're throwing the discs back and forth trying to take out the other players. So I think those are really the only 2 games that you could really utilize that arcade stick with. They might be able to use the arcade stick in some other ones, but I think those are going to be the 2 that Arcade1up could actually put in one machine. All they got to do is try to get the rights from Disney, of course. Disney owning the rights. They're the ones making the newer Tron movies. Granted, the last one was 2010, I think it was, for Tron Legacy. And they're supposedly working on another one, Tron 2, I think they're calling it. But will it have the nostalgic feel of the previous movies? I guess time will tell. Will Jeff Bridges be in the next movie as well? Maybe. I'm sure they will bring him in there in some caliber. But in terms of this particular game, I think on one side of the machine they could do the full Tron logo and the whole Tron look from the original arcade machine. Probably on both sides. And then the bottom half, the two games, kind of like they've really done with some of the more current console, or with the more current arcade cabinets that they've been working on. Now, they could always make the big covered area, or have it where they made it kind of like the Star Wars arcade game. If they could make it kind of like the Star Wars arcade game where they have like a little bench, or like the special edition Star Wars arcade where it has the bench, I think a lot of people would really like that, because then they could sit down and actually play it. Where, you know, in the arcade, you're pretty much standing there, which nothing wrong with standing there, but I think it might add to the comfort and the cool factor when it comes to it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe like I said earlier. Share it with your friends. And until next time, guys, game on.